Let's now discuss up to which point this thin-walled assumption is valid and how the thick-walled relations are defined in the EN13480 and B31.3 codes. Let's start with the EN13480. We are familiar with the thin-walled relation for the wall thickness in the EN13480. Let's first have a look at how the code-specific thick-walled relation for wall thickness is defined. In the EN13480, the definition of the code-specific Lemay's equation looks like this. In this equation, we can clearly recognize the previously discussed Lemay's equation with the same terms as in the EN13480 thin-walled equation. The minimum required wall thickness is determined by the outer diameter divided by 2 and multiplied by a similar factor as the Lemay's equation, which is based on the design stress, joint coefficient, and the calculation pressure in the EN13480 code. The code does not specify any additional design requirements when determining the wall thickness according to Lemay's equation. So the definitions of the thin and thick-walled relations in the EN13480 code are very similar to Lemay's relations that have been derived. Let's check the validity of the thin-walled assumption in the EN13480 code. To check the validity of the thin-walled assumption, let's return to the comparison between the different hoop stress determination methods within a pipe wall. Since the code-specific relations are very similar to the actual relations, the previously discussed plot still holds. In this plot, we see the thin-walled relations using the inner and outer diameter. These are not prescribed by the code. Between these two relations, we see the code-specific thin and thick-walled relations. Let's remove the relations that are not specific to the EN13480 code, so that we're able to compare the thin-walled and thick-walled relations. As discussed earlier, the relations overlap at low wall thickness and start to diverge at higher wall thickness, where the thin-wall code-specific relation underestimates the maximum stress in the pipe wall slightly, resulting in non-conservative results. So at some point, the thin-walled assumption is no longer valid, and the use of the thick-walled relations is required. The validity of thin-walled assumption could be chosen arbitrarily by comparing the lines by eye, by experience, or by determining a mathematical rule. However, here is no need that as piping design codes have their own separate rules for determining the validity of the thin-walled assumption. The EN13480 bases this transition on the value of the outer diameter divided by the inner diameter. This value is actually the same as the outer radius divided by the inner radius as specified on the x-axis. For values below 1.7, the thin-walled assumption is deemed valid, and the thin-walled relations can be used. But when the value is higher than 1.7, the thin-walled assumption does not hold anymore, and the thick-walled relations should be used. If we look at the plot, this is right at the location where a noticeable divergence between the two relations is observed. So, to recap, in the EN13480, the thin-walled relation can be used to determine the minimum required wall thickness of a pipe up until the outer diameter divided by the inner diameter is higher than 1.7. Then the thick-walled relation should be used, which is more complex than the thin-walled relation and is based on Lemay's equation. To get a feel of the corresponding wall thicknesses and pressures related to the transition to the thick-walled relation, let's have a look at an example. Let's have a look at a DN250 pipe with an allowable stress of 125 megapascals and a joint coefficient of 1. The questions we want answered are, above which pressure is the thin-walled assumption no longer valid, and what is the corresponding minimum required wall thickness? Let's start answering this question by looking at the relation between the outer diameter over the inner diameter, shown on the y-axis, versus the pressure, shown on the x-axis. We are looking at this relation because in the EN13480 design code, the validity of the thin-walled assumption is based on the value of the outer diameter over the inner diameter. The higher the ratio is between the outer and inner diameter, the thicker the pipe is required to be. Let's first start plotting the pressure-dependent required wall thickness in this graph. We will plot two different relations for a DN250 pipe with a design stress of 125 megapascals. This first being for the thin-walled relation, and the second being Lemay's equation, which is the thick-walled relation. Note that at a higher dO over dI, the pipe thickness is also higher. The thin-walled assumption is valid up to a value of dO over dI of 1.7. When we indicate this line in the graph, we can see that it intersects with the two wall thickness relations at about 60 megapascals. So above this pressure, the thin-walled assumption is no longer valid, and the thick-walled relation must be used. Let's have a look at what the required wall thickness of the pipe is at this transition. Let's change the y-axis of this graph to the thickness instead of dO over dI. So we are now looking at relation between the pipe thickness versus the pressure. Let's plot the thin-walled and thick-walled relations in this figure. We can clearly see that the thin-walled relation underestimates the minimum required wall thickness significantly at higher pressures. From our previous graph, we know that the thin-walled assumption is valid up to a pressure of 60 megapascals. Let's plot this in the current graph. We see that the transition from thin-walled to thick-walled pipes occurs at a thickness of 56 millimeters. So let's have a look at the answers to the questions at the start of this example. The pressure at which the thin-walled assumption is no longer valid is 60 megapascals. The corresponding minimum required wall thickness is 56 millimeters. Below this thickness, the thin-walled relations can be used. Above this thickness, the thick-walled relations must be used.